Our next two games in the Champions League are a must win.
To Copenhagen now, what is that mentality in the squad going to be like? We spoke about it after Fulham.
Yeah, because they would have been really dejected on Saturday had they not have scored that late goal, and it just shows that they have got together a unity to be able to keep fighting until the end. We all know it wasn't a wonderful game in terms of quality, but I think that overall, especially with the farcical way that the goal in the first half was disallowed, I think United deserved it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree too. I mean, we can see the keepers now warming up outside too. I mean, it's good to have that camaraderie around the squad as well, you know, with every single player, because everyone was celebrating that goal in those final moments too.
Yeah, I mean, there's no better way to score a goal than not giving the opposition any hope of and any time of being able to get back into it. And the strange thing was that it happened at exactly the same venue virtually 12 months before, so they know what it's like. And the fans down there were absolutely fantastic. They really were. They never stopped from the beginning to the end, and the celebration at the end was very similar to the one that we saw last year. And they play a big part. Certainly the away fans play a huge part in the way this team goes out and performs.
I mean, we can see Policia coming out now onto the pitch, and we did mention him earlier about the impact that he made. It's encouraging to see a young player just coming with so much confidence.
Yeah, and I've been sort of slightly disappointed that maybe he hasn't had more game time, but he certainly showed the manager in the small time that he was on Saturday at Fulham that he can be, worth his weight. And the way that he was so persistent and against a tough opponent in Anthony Robinson, I have to say, the sliding tackle, especially when he thought he'd lost the ball, to regain the possession for United and to stop Fulham from clearing their lines, that was without question. Obviously, apart from the shot from Bruno, that was what won us the game on Saturday. So, he might have another big part to play in weeks and games to come.
We can see Marcus Rashford out there as well. Obviously, pre-match with Erik ten Hag on the weekend, he said that Marcus Rashford suffered with a knock that made him unfit for the game. Obviously, it looks like if he's now training with the squad that he must be back in contention. Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure he is. I think it was only a slight knock that the manager obviously didn't want to risk. So he will be travelling with the squad, and he'll be a more than useful asset, whether from the start or whether coming from the bench.
Someone with the technical ability of Marcus Rashford, you obviously want to be involved in the squad, and then other members too, Scott McTominay, for instance. There's no denying his passion for Manchester United. We've heard it, especially after the rough results, obviously last week, and then coming into Fulham as well. You've seen that passion that he's shown, and Eric really appreciates, obviously, how much they give, physically and mentally to this team.
Yeah, he speaks really well, does Scott McTominay, all the time. Whenever I see him interviewed, I really admire the way he talks, and he takes that onto the pitch with him, and I'm sure he's be taking it on here now, because he'll know that after being part of a team that battled so hard to take 3 points on Saturday, that he will be in contention to start in Copenhagen tomorrow night, and couple that with the fact that we know Casemiro can't.
And on your last training session, before going into a huge Champions League tie against Copenhagen, we can see obviously Eric speaking to the entire squad now. Before the training session starts, as a player, what do you want to hear from him?
I would probably say not too much. I think different managers have different ways of addressing the squad. Some do it when they get out onto the training pitch. Some might do it in the dressing room beforehand. But I think that everybody knows what sort of a training session this is going to entail when you're ready to travel and you're ready to play a game. 36 hours later. So I don't know what he's saying out there now, but I'm pretty sure that they'll all be taking note. You can see the fact that they're standing, they're all patient, they're all listening. They want to get started, but they're also making sure that they're listening to the man whose voice should be in the dressing room, and that's the managers.
We obviously spoke about the entire staff. You can just tell how excited they are for the game as well. I mean, you can see there, obviously, getting started for that training session. They must be looking forward to every single second of this final training session, as you said, even with the conditions.
Yeah, they will. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, the conditions are great underfoot because the pitches are so well cared for. But yeah, they'll be looking forward to it. Like I said, when I was playing, and any other player would tell you the most enjoyable training sessions are the ones that happen the day before a game, because there's a little bit of fun in there, a little bit of camaraderie, but then the seriousness has to be there as well in terms of your mentality, because you know what's at stake, and especially with this game tomorrow night, a win is vital.
The first game against Copenhagen was close, right? We barely survived that game. We almost drew that game because without Andre Onana saving that penalty, it would have ended 1-1. So going into this game, we just need to pretty much learn from the mistakes, right? The biggest mistake in the first game was not creating enough chances, right? We're only scoring one goal, and that was a header from Harry Maguire, right? And that's not good enough, right? Our attackers are not getting enough chances. So that's actually the main problem we had in that game, the first game, creating chances for the strikers, for the attackers, right? Rasmus Højlund, he needs more chances. Rashford, he needs more chances. Anthony, if he plays, he needs more chances. And that's our main problem this season, right? Chance creation, clear cut chances for the strikers to score. And if we do that, we'll win this game comfortably.